श्री श्री गुरु गौरांग गंधार्विक गिरिधारी श्री श्री राधा विनोद बिहारी जू की जय। श्री गोविंद अकार श्री गोविंद गोपीनाथ मदन मोहन जू की जय। नित्यानंद विष्णु विष्णुपाद शुक्र शुद्ध श्रीमद भक्ति वेदांत नारायण गोसाई महाराज श्री गुरुदेव की जय। नित्यानंद विष्णु विष्णुपाद शुक्र शुद्ध श्रीमद भक्ति वेदांत वामन गोसाई महाराज की जय। नित्यानंद विष्णु विष्णुपाद शुक्र शुद्ध श्रीमद भक्ति वेदांत साई महाराज श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। नित्यानंद विष्णु विष्णुपाद शुक्र शुद्ध श्रीमद भक्ति प्रज्ञान केशव गोसाई महाराज की जय। नित्यानंद विष्णु विष्णुपाद शुक्र शुद्ध श्रीमद भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोसाई प्रभुपाद की जय। नित्यानंद विष्णु महाभागवत श्री गोरक्षर बाबूजी महाराज की जय। नित्यानंद विश्व शिव सच्चिदानंद भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर की जय। नित्यानंद विष्णु वैष्णव सार्वभौम शिव जगन्नाथ दास बाबूजी महाराज की जय। श्री रूपानु गौरी गुरु वर्ग की जय। श्री रूप सनातन भट्ट रघुनाथ श्री जीव गोपाल भट्टदास रघुनाथ शारद गोसाई प्रभु की जय। श्री स्वरूप दामोदर राय रामानंदारी श्री गौर पार्षद वृंद की जय। नाम जय श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासरी गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री क्षेत्र मंडल कोडमंडल ब्रजमंडल मथुर वृंदावन धाम की जय। सर्व अभिष्ट प्रदाता गिरिराज महाराज की जय। श्री राधा कुंड श्याम कुंड की जय। श्री यमुना देवी गंगा देवी की जय। श्री तुलसी महारानी गंगा देवी की जय। श्री भक्ति देवी की जय। श्री पूर्णमासी योग माया की जय। श्री गोपेश्वर महादेव की जय। जय श्री हरि नाम संकीर्तन की जय। जय श्री कार्तिक व्रत नियम सेवा की जय। जय श्री यशोदा दामोदर की जय। राधा दामोदर की जय। श्री दामोदराष्टकम की जय। श्रील सनातन गोसाई पद दिग्दर्शिनी-वृत्ति की न टीका की जय। जय श्री हरि नाम। जय श्री ऊर्जेश्वरी रसेश्वरी शिव शुभानुनंदिनी श्रीमती राधा ठाकुरानी की जय। श्री हरि नाम संकीर्तन की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। समागत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्रीनिताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि। Hare Krishna. All right. Sorry I'm so late today. The internet wasn't working. The Wi-Fi wasn't working. And then I tried to use my mobile hotspot, but that was going too slow. And then all of a sudden the internet started working again, the Wi-Fi. So that's why I'm starting so late today. So today will be a short reading, maybe only 45 minutes. Actually 40 minutes because we have to do the Mangalacharan. ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। गुरुवे गौरचन्द्राय राधिकायै तदालये कृष्णाय कृष्णभक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो नमः। वंशकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधाकांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। अंगश्यामलिमा छटाभिरभितो मन्दीकृतेन्दीवरं जाड्यं जागुडरोचिषां विदधतां पट्टाम्बरस्य श्रिया। वृन्दारण्यविलासिनां हृदि लसत् दामाभिरामोदरम् राधास्कन्धनिवेशितो ज्वलभुजां ध्यायेम दामोदरम्। Once again. Dvaipāyana Dvaipāyana na jivami tvaya vina itti vigyaya devi tvam nayamam charanantikam bhaktya vihina aparada lakshaya क्षिप्ताश्च कामाद्वितराङ्गमध्ये कृपामयि त्वं शरणं प्रपन्ना वृन्दे नमस्ते चरणारविन्दम् भज श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासरि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Haribol. Oh, and I think I'm the Jaidwani. I forgot to mention. Uh, Shri Rama Akadashi Titi ki jai. Akadashi Titi Pala Hariba. Vrinda ki jai. Haribol Dandavat Pranams. Nari Hari Prabhu Bhavatarani Mataji. Anadi Krishna Prabhu. Champak Mataji. Ganga Mataji. And see a bunch of other people on YouTube and Facebook, but I don't see any comments, so I don't know who's there. I'm guessing Indira Mataji and Raseshwari Mataji and Rohini Nandan Prabhu, Vidyalala Didi, and Krishna Mai Didi, and I don't know who else. Write a comment and I'll see who you are. Also, pranams to all the devotees watching in the future, like Shashi Devi, Jayadev Prabhu, Krishna Rose, Ananda Pradayani, and everybody else. Haribol. Right, so we are continuing our reading of Dāmodarāṣṭakam. As I mentioned in the beginning, today will be a very short reading, only a 40-minute reading because of my internet problems. So we're going to complete reading my Gurudev's commentary on the third verse. There's just a little bit left. And then maybe we can read, we'll go through the fourth verse and Śrīla Sanātana Gosvāmī Pad's commentary. And we'll see if there's time for more after that. First, let's sing the Dāmodarāṣṭakam. Okay. Namamishwaram Sachidanandarupam Lasatkundalam Gokule Bhrajamanam Yashodabhiyo Lokala Paramrishtamatyan Tatodrutya Gotya Rudantamuhurnetra Yugmamrijantam Karam Bhojayugmena Satankanetram Muhushvasakampa Trirekhankakanta Stitagraivadamodaram Bhaktivedāntam Iti Driksvalilabhi Anandakunde Swaghosham Nimanjantam Akyapayantam Tadiyeshitageshu Bhaktarjitatvam Puna Prematasam Shatavritti Vande Varaṁ Deva mokṣaṁ Na mokṣāvadhiṁ va Na cānyaṁ vṛṇeham vareśād apīha idaṁ te vapur Nātha gopāla-bālaṁ Sada me manasya virastam kimanya idaṁ te mukhaṁ bhojam avyaktanilai vṛttam kuntalai snigdharaktaścha gopya Muhushchumbittam bimbaraktadarane manasya virastam alam lakshalabhai Namo Deva Damodarānanta Vishnu Prasida Prabhu Dukha Jalabdi Magna Kripa Drishti Vrishtyati Dinam Batano Grihani Shamamadhyam Edakshidrishya Kuveratmajo Baddha Murtaiva Yadvat Tvaya Mochito Bhakti Bhajo Krito Cham Tatha Prema Bhaktin Swakang Me Prayacha Namokshe Graho Misti Damodareha Namastestu Dhamne, Spuradipti-dhamne, Tvadiyodarayatha Vishwasadhamne, Namo Radhikayai, Tvadiyapriyayai, Namo Nantalilai, Devaya Tubhyam. Namo Radhikayai Tvadiyapriyayai, Namo Radhikayai Tvadiyapriyayai, Namo Nantalilai Devaya Tubhyam. Namo Nantalilai Devaya Tubhyam. Namamishwaram Satchiranandarupam, Lasatkundalam Gokule Brajamanam. Jai Radha Damodara Radha Damodara Radhe, Jai Radha Damodara Radha Damodara Radhe. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Haribo Nitai Gaur Haribo. Hare Krishna. And Haribo, Primala Didi. And also Shubhananda Babu is there. Nams. Right, so continuing Śrī Dāmodarāṣṭakam. Where did we leave off yesterday? I guess I'll go to verse 4 and then backwards. Verse 4. Sorry, just give me a second here. Okay. Yeah, we stopped here yesterday. So this is the Dig-darśinī-vṛtti of our Śrīla Gurudev, Nikhil Pravisha Śrīmad Bhaktivedānta Nārāyaṇa Gosvāmī Mahārāja, on verse 3. Itidrik Salilabir Anandapunde Swaghosham Nimanjantam Akhyapāyantam Tadiyeshitagyeshu Bhakta Richitatva Puna Prematastam Shata Vṛtti Vande. So Krishna, through his own pastimes, like this Dham Bandhan Lila, he's immersing his own people of the Goshta of Raj in pools of bliss, Ananda Kund. Nimanjantam, he's immersing them in that bliss, and he himself is being submerged in that bliss of his own pastimes. And so through this, he's Akhyapāyantam. He's informing everybody. He's informing those who Tadiya Ishita Yeshu, those who are Yeshu, who are knowledgeable of Tadiya, his Ishita, his divinity, his godhood. What is he informing them? Bhaktar Jitatvam, that he is Jitatam, that he is only conquered by his devotees, his bhaktas. So Puna Prematastam, Shata Vṛtti Vande. So Puna, again and again, Premata, with prem, with love. Shata Vṛtti, hundreds of times, Vande. I offer my obeisances, or my prayers, obeisances, Vandana. You know the word Vandana. So now, Śrīla Gurudev went through so many different sweet pastimes illustrating this. And he ended, and the last thing that we read yesterday was about what to speak of, Krishna, what to speak of bowing at the lotus feet of Sarveshwari Śrī Radha. Shri Krishna falls at the feet of Shri Rupa Manjari and Shri Rati Manjari, her maidservants, when, on the Swamini's order, they forbid him to enter Shri Radha's kunj. He begs them for permission to enter. pleads with them, and flatters them just to pacify them. Just see the position of Śrī Radha's maidservants. Our worshipful Śrīla Raghunath Das Goswami prays. I should start marking corrections when I find things. I wasn't doing that before, but I'm going to do it now. All right. Okay, so then he gives these verses. Padabjaya Stavavina and Yat King Tarishu Bhausa Kalkubani. Shri Krishna rises when the gopis order him to rise, and he sits when they order him to sit. Chachiya bhara chachapara hariko nachavim. Just see the glories of these ladies of Raj. They make Sri Hari dance for a mere palmful of buttermilk. No other kind of bhakti has the power to control Krishna in this way. And that's where we left off yesterday. Mother Yashoda may tell Krishna, "Today, Kanaya, do not take the cows to graze in the forest. It's your birthday." But he will not follow her order. He will eagerly go out to graze the cows. What is in the forest that attracts him so much? Within the forest, he can meet the young Vraj gopis and play freely with them, especially with Śrī Radha. They meet together in secret places like Radhakund, Suryakund, and Kusum Sarovar. The amorous love that the young Vraj gopis have for Sri Krishna is greater even than parental love for him. In fact, their love includes all the qualities of parental affection. Therefore, playing with the gopas or grazing his cows is not the primary reason he takes the cows into the forests every day. The main reason he enters the forest is to play with his dearmost gopis. In Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila 8:201-205, Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami explains that without the help of Śrī Radha's Sakis, Sri Krishna's amorous pastimes will never develop in someone's heart. Radha Krishna Lila ati gudatar dasya vatsalyadi bhave na hoy gochar. Sri Radha Krishna's pastimes in the groves of Vrindavan are extremely confidential. Such pastimes are beyond the grasp of anyone in the mood of Sri Krishna's affectionate servant, friend, or parent. Shabe ek sakhi ganer iha adhikar, sakhi hoite hoy e lilar vistar. Only the damsels of Vraj are qualified to see these secret pastimes, and only they can make them expand. Sakhi bina e lila pushta nahi hoy, sakhi lila vistariya, sakhi ashvadar. Only the Sakis are qualified to nourish these secret pastimes, and they take great pleasure in making them expand. Sakhi bina e lilai anyer nahi gati, sakhi bhave je tare kore anugati. Radha Krishna Kunja Seva Sadhya She Pai, She Sadhya Paite Ar Nahi Ko Upay. No one can see or participate in these pastimes without the help of the young Braj Gopis. Only those fortunate souls who follow in their footsteps by adopting their exalted mood of amorous love for Sri Krishna will attain the ultimate goal of directly serving Sri Radha Krishna in the kunjas of Vrindavan. There is no other way to obtain this. One day, Mahadev Shiva, the chief demigod, set off to see his supremely worshipful Lord, who had just appeared in Braj. Arriving at the gate of Nanda Maharaja's home, he sang loudly, "Alakha Niranjan, Alakha Niranjan." And the footnote says, this phrase is used to beg alms in the name of Sri Bhagavan, or simply to make one remember him. It is a description of Paramatma, who is invisible, Alakha, and aloof from Maya, Niranjan. So he loudly sang, "Alakha Niranjan, Alakha Niranjan," and he played his damaru. You know the damaru with the little strings on both sides, and you shake it, and Shiva's drum. Damuru. So Mother Yashoda came to the door when she heard him singing and playing his drum. But when she saw the appearance of this unusual yogi, she became afraid. He wore robes of tiger skin and a garland of human skulls. Dangerous serpents adorned his hands, feet, and neck, and he held a tall, fearful trident by his side. His body was smeared from head to toe with ashes from a cremation ground, and his thoroughly matted hair made him look ancient and even more dreadful. His carrier, Nandi, a massive bull, accompanied him. Seeing that the terrible looking yogi was approaching her, accompanied by Nandi, Yashoda became utterly terrified. Nonetheless, she asked him dutifully, Do you want some alms? Just wait, and I'll bring them to you. Haribo Vidilala Sadidi. Mahadev Shankar replied, O mother, I have walked so far just to come here from my home in Kailash. Just show me your baby. I want to see your darling child. Eat or drink whatever you like and then go, she said. And do not play your damuru so loudly. My child is sleeping. Shankarji said, O innocent mother, I do not want your flour and beans, or silk clothes and bags. Nor do I want anything to eat, drink, wear, or rest upon. I have come to see your darling son just once. This is the only donation I need. Mother Yashoda hesitated and then said to him, I am an adult, yet your appearance terrifies me. My darling boy is so young. He'll become too afraid if he sees your form, so I will not show him to you. And she went inside the house. Sri Shankar, the foremost demigod, was not about to leave without seeing Sri Krishna. He sat down by the door and lit a ceremonial fire. When your beautiful son grows a little older, he thought, he will come outside to play, and I will finally be able to see him. I will not return to Kailash without seeing him. This is the same resolve as the fruit seller lady that we read about yesterday also, right? She thought, if I don't get darshan of Krishna, then I will not return to Mathura. To this day, the place near Nanda's home where Mahadev Sri Shankar was sitting is known as Yogiya Kund. Mother Yashoda entered the house and found her darling baby boy crying loudly. Nothing she tried would pacify him. So she consulted her friends. A respected elder gopi spoke. This is not an ordinary yogi. He is from the sacred mountains of Kailash. When your boy heard him playing his drum, he became afraid, and now he has started to cry more and more loudly. It would be wise to show him your dear son at least once. Seeing no other recourse but to show her son to the extraordinary yogi, Yashoda Maya placed Krishna in a black basket and covered all of his limbs with black cloth to protect him from inauspiciousness. She anointed his eyes with thick black eyeliner and marked his forehead with a black dot. Then she reluctantly brought Krishna outside and allowed the yogi just a brief glimpse of him. To her astonishment, when she was turning to enter her house, she noticed that Krishna had stopped crying. Sri Shankar, the king of mystics, spoke to her. Mother, I will light a ceremonial fire and stay nearby. If ever your beloved child falls prey to some evil, just call for me. I will chant mantras and ward off any evil effects with mustard seeds and salt, and he will be restored to health. Thereafter, whenever Krishna would cry, she would call the yogi from his dwelling. Yogi chalo nanda bhavanam. Sorry, I don't know how to sing this. I'm just making up a So, yeah, I'm just making up a melody. O yogi chalo nanda bhavana mein, Yashomati maya tumhe bulave, बाके लाला को नजर लगी है ते पेराए नोन करवावे रहो रहो योगी नंद भवन में ब्रज में वास सदा तू की जो जब जब बाकुलाला रोवे तब तब दर्शन दीजो Tava tava darasana dijo. Sorry. Yogi, come to Nanda Bhavan. Krishna's devoted mother, Yashoda Maya, is calling you. Her son has come under an evil eye. Ward off its effect with mustard and salt. Stay here, Yogi. Just stay here in Nanda Bhavan. Please live in Braj forever. Whenever her darling son cries, come and give him your darshan. Thus, the life of that yogi became successful. In his Padyavali, an anthology of verses written by many different acharyas, Srila Rupa Goswami quotes the following pastime. Rama nama babuvahum tadbala siteti hum tang pitur vacha panchavati vane nivasatas tasyaharad ravana Krishna yeti puratanim nijakatham akarnyamatre ritam so mitre kvadanur dhanur iti dhanu iti vyagrag sorry so mitre kvadanur dhanur dhanuriti vyagragira pantuva dhanu 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 see at the end it says dhanu 3 times and kwa means where. Where is my dhanu? Where's my dhanu? Dhanu. My. Yeah, let's see what it says. Okay. Dhanu means arrow, bow and arrow. Or bow, actually. One night, Mother Yashoda was tenderly stroking Krishna and lulling him to sleep with a story. Once there was a king, she said. Krishna eagerly responded, yes, and? His name was Dasharatha, she continued, and he had 4 sons. When they grew up, Vishwamitra took them to protect the arena of his sacred fire sacrifice. Shri Krishna murmured, yes, and? After they saved the fire sacrifice, Vishwamitra took them to Mithila. The king of Mithila, Mahārāja Janak, had vowed to give his daughter's hand in marriage only to the one who could string Shiva's bow and break it, and not to anyone else. Again, Shri Krishna murmured, Kings came from many far-off lands, she continued, but they all failed. Finally, Shri Ram strung Shiva's massive bow and broke it. Then Princess Sita was married to Lord Ram. Krishna murmured as she spoke, and whenever she paused even for a brief moment, he eagerly inquired, Mother, what happened next? To carry out his father's order, Shri Ram had to enter the forest in exile, and Sita and Lakshman went with him. When they were residing at a place called Panchavati, the demon Maricha tricked Ram and led him into the forest. Meanwhile, back at their cottage, Ravan came and kidnapped Sita. Just hearing this, Shri Krishna, absorbed in the mood of Ram, sprang up from his bed, crying, Lakshman, bring me my bow! Where is my bow? My bow! May Sri Hari's impassioned cries, when he is absorbed in this mood, protect you. One day, while Mother Yashoda was churning yogurt in an earthen pot, she attracted her darling son to her with sweet words. Then, for a short time, she left to do something else. When Krishna's eyes suddenly fell upon the earthen pot, he saw the moon reflected on the surface of the yogurt. When Mother Yashoda returned, he repeatedly demanded, Mother, I want the moon. Give me that toy. Mother Yashoda took a lump of butter from a pot and gave it to him. At first he became happy, but when he looked back into the pot, he saw that the moon was still there. Again, he began restlessly demanding it. Mother Yashoda said, "Look up, that is the moon." "I want it," he demanded. "There is poison on it," she said. Shri Krishna asked, "How did it get poison on it?" "A long time ago, when the demigods and demons churned the great ocean of milk, poison came to the surface. That poison is on the moon. Do you see those black impressions on the moon? That is the poison. Tell me, who would want to play with that?" Hearing this explanation, Shri Krishna became frightened. Such are Shri Krishna's unlimited pastimes. He drowns the residents of Raj in the ocean of their sweetness, and he also drowns in that ocean. So the Swagosham, his own residents of Raj, of the Gosha of Raj, they become Nimajantam, they become immersed in it. And Shri Krishna himself, he also, Nimajantam, he becomes immersed. And look, there's a Brijvasi painting of that pastime of Krishna wanting the moon. Okay. So now we begin verse 4. Varaṁ Deva mokṣaṁ. Actually, let's try it in the proper meter. Varaṁ Deva mokṣaṁ sorry, let's see. I'm not used to singing that in a meter. Varaṁ Deva mokṣaṁ mokṣāvadhiṁ na cānyaṁ vṛṇeham vareśād apīha idaṁ te vapur Nātha gopāla-bālaṁ sada me manasya virastam kimanyai. Okay, so let's go through the meaning of all the words. O Deva, varaṁ, mokṣaṁ, na mokṣāvadhiṁ. So I do not want varaṁ, I do not want benedictions, I do not want moksha, I do not want liberation, and I don't want mokṣavadhiṁ. I don't want the pinnacle of liberation, which is residence in Vaikuntha Lok. Na cānyaṁ vṛṇeham. Aham means I, vṛṇe. I do not beg, I do not desire, I do not ask for. Na cha anyam. Cha means and I do not ask for or beg for anyam, anything else. What else could he want? Like everything's in there already, right? Varaṁ, any kind of benedictions, moksha, liberation, and Vaikuntha. Well, what more could anybody possibly want? We'll hear the answer to that question in the commentary. Vareśād apīha. My only one desire is idaṁ, this day. Day means your vapur, your form, O Nath, your form, O Nath, as gopāla-bālaṁ, as a little cowherd boy. Gopāla-bālaṁ, gopāla-bālaṁ. Sada me, so sada means always, me, in my manasi, in my mind, avirastam, may it be manifest. Kim anyai, what is anything else? Kim means what? Anyai, any other thing. What else could one want? Avirastam says, remain manifest. Okay. So, O supremely effulgent and playful divinity, I do not ask you for freedom from mortal suffering, the fourth of human goals. Nor do I ask for the ultimate limit of freedom, that's residence in Vaikuntha, the abode of extraordinary concentrated happiness. Nor do I seek any other benediction from you, even attaining bhakti characterized by Shravan, Kirtan, etc. Even though, as a supreme benefactor, you can easily grant all benedictions. O Lord of my life, may your beautiful form as Bāla-gopāla, a little cowherd boy, in Braj, may that always remain visible within my heart. I have no use for any benediction other than this. So, yeah, that might sound a little shocking. What? He's saying that he's not even asking for bhakti characterized by Shravan and Kirtan? But we'll find out why he's mentioning this in the commentary. So now, the Dig-darśinī-ṭikā of Sanātana Gosvāmī, the Bhavanubhada plan. Up until this point, Sri Satyavrata Muni has been praising Sri Bhagavan by describing the supremacy of his unique characteristics. Now, in verse 4, beginning with varaṁ, and in verse 5, Sri Satyavrata Muni begins to pray to obtain his most cherished object. O Deva means either O supremely effulgent divinity, or O Lord, who always loves to perform certain charming pastimes. Here, varaśād, apīha, means even though you can grant any benediction, I do not ask you for freedom from mortal suffering, mokṣaṁ, the ultimate goal among the four goals of human life. Beyond the attainment of ordinary moksha is the attainment of the utmost limit of moksha, residence in your transcendental abode, Śrī Vaikunṭha-loka. That abode is comprised of unending concentrated bliss. I do not even ask you for residence in Vaikuntha, nor do I ask for cānyaṁ ca. The words cānyaṁ ca, others also, can be understood to mean either the other benediction attained by performing the celebrated ninefold system of devotional service, Navada Bhakti, beginning with the process of Shravanam, hearing about the personality of Godhead, or simply any other attainment generally considered worth asking for or considered superior by others. However, considering the word iha, which means in this place, the meaning is, because I am in Vrindavan, I do not have the slightest desire to accept all these benedictions. And now here's footnote translated from the Bengali edition. At the end of the Dig-darśinī-ṭikā on verse 3, it is said, among the limbs of bhakti, which are required for all devotees, I only pray to perform one special limb of bhakti, vandana, or expressing my adoration for Śrī Bhagavan. I do not pray for knowledge of Śrī Bhagavan's opulence or anything else. Now, in this stanza, it has been said that even the above-mentioned limbs of bhakti, such as Shravan, Kirtan, Vandan, and so forth, are also not desirable. The meaning is that from the perspective of graduated excellence, the spurti of Śrī Bhagavan's beautiful form within the heart, as revealed only in Vrindavan, is a superior sadhya. Previously, Sri Satyavrata Muni resolved to perform sadhana of Vaidhi Bhakti characterized by Shravan and so forth. However, in this stanza, even the above said Vaidhi sadhana is being discarded because it is devoid of the intense eagerness to serve Sri Kṛṣṇa, which eventually results in a spurti of his beautiful form. Sri Satyavrata Muni has offered this special prayer through Kirtana Bhakti saturated by intense attachment and eagerness to serve. That's Raganuga Bhakti, in order to bring about the sadhya of perpetually seeing such spurtis of Śrī Bhagavan's beautiful form within the heart. This is because without the mercy of Śrī Bhagavan, such a spurti will never occur. So Anyam Cha is referring to Vaidhi Bhakti. I'm not even praying for that. Yes, he's only wants this intense attachment and eagerness to serve, this Raganuga Bhakti. All right. Okay, now back to the Śrīla Sanātana Gosvāmi's commentary. The word iha is also related to the latter half of the verse. Here, the progressive superiority of the three benedictions is self-evident. The Uttar Khanda of Śrīmad the Uttar Khanda of Śrī Brihad Bhagavatamrita clearly explains the superiority of residence in Vaikuntha Loka over moksha. And there's a footnote, annotation by Param Gurudev. Let's read. So, verses in the first part of Brihad Bhagavatamrita, the first chapter, I think, of the first part, I'm guessing, verses 14 and 15 of Brihad Bhagavatamrita's Uttarakhand are presented herein. I'm not going to read the Sanskrit. Well, let's just read the translation. I'll read the Sanskrit. Vaikuntam dulabam muktai sandrananda chiratmakam nishkama ye tutar bhakto labhante sadya evatat. Those who perform bhajan of Bhagavan Shri Krishna devoid of any personal motive, the Nishkam Bhaktas, immediately achieve the abode of Vaikuntha. That abode of Vaikuntha is the embodiment of concentrated happiness, and it is made of transcendental cognizance. In other words, it is the concentrated embodiment of Brahma, of the absolute reality, and its aspect of transcendental consciousness. That abode of Vaikuntha is rarely achieved even by liberated personalities. The deep meaning here is that those who propound oneness with the Absolute and arrogantly regard themselves as liberated souls can never attain that abode. Tatra Shri Krishna Padabja Shakshat Seva Sukham Sada Bahudhanu Bhavantaste Ramante Dikritamritam. In Vaikuntha, the devotees who are free from all hankering, that Nishkam Bhaktas, perpetually experience the variegated happiness of directly serving Shri Krishna's lotus feet. By performing various pastimes with him, they become immersed in an ocean of bliss. The happiness resulting from Sri Bhagavan's service is the concentrated form of supreme bliss. Compared to this, the Amrita, the nectar of immortality, or the happiness of liberation, seems extremely insignificant. Okay, so those are the verses in Brihad Bhagavatamrita, which clearly explains the superiority of residence in Vaikuntha Loka over moksha. And the superiority of the performance of Navada Bhakti, the celebrated ninefold system of devotional service beginning with Shravanam, is even superior to that. This is also described in the following verse from Śrīmad Bhagavatam, how Navada Bhakti is superior to residence in Vaikuntha Loka. Kamam bhava svavrijiner nirayeshu nastach cheto livadyati nutte padayo rameta vachashchanas tulasivar yaditengri shobha puryetate gunaganar yadikarna randhra. Śrīmad Bhagavatam 3:15-49. Sri Sunat Kumar and the other Kumars prayed, O Lord, if because of the offense we made by cursing your devotees Jai and Vijay, we have to take birth in an extremely condemned species, or even in hell, no harm. As long as our hearts and minds, like bees, are immersed in relishing the sweetness of serving your lotus feet, our words are made beautiful by glorifying you, just as tulsi leaves are beautified when they are offered at your feet. And our ears are eternally filled with descriptions of all your transcendental qualities. Then we do not care about where we take birth. In other words, may we eternally have the fortune of hearing, of Shravan, and singing kirtan about you. This statement specifically demonstrates that regardless of where one resides as a result of his actions, even if he resides in hell, once he has attained final perfection or prem bhakti by appropriately performing the libs of Navada Bhakti such as Shravan, he always experiences the fulfillment of residing in Vaikuntha. Shri Krishna may have asked, if you do not want any of these benedictions, then what is it that you do want? To this question, the sage replies, O Master, may your Bāla-gopāla form in Vrindavan, which I have just described, always remain manifest within my heart. Although you are present as a supersoul, the omniscient witness in the cave-like hearts of all beings, kindly remain manifest in my heart in such a way that you seem to be appearing directly in front of me, and in that way reveal to me the beauty of your entire form. As though Shri Krishna is personally addressing his devotee, he speaks thus. Aho, liberation, residence in Vaikuntha, and eligibility to engage in Navada Bhakti are also exceedingly worthy and rare benedictions. Why not accept them as well? In reply, Shri Satyavrata Muni says, Kim anyay? Of what use to me are these three boons? In other words, Shri Satyavrata Muni says, although these attainments are eagerly sought after by others, they are of no use to me. Shri Krishna is the essence of all bliss. If one attains him, then everything has been attained. However, the result of obtaining something as insignificant as liberation instead of one's most cherished form of Shri Krishna is only intense sorrow. It is for this reason that Shri Satyavrata Muni has implied that all other benedictions are of no use. Now, in the following passages, Srila Sanātana Gosvāmī reveals another meaning of Kim anyay. Sri Bhagavan asks the sage, you may not want liberation and other boons, but why do you not accept the benediction of seeing me and conversing with me in any of my opulent four-armed forms like Sri Nārāyaṇa, a privilege greatly cherished by all? In this context, when Sri Satyavrata Muni replies that he has no use for any other benediction, he means, I will only experience the greatest bliss if your Bāla-gopāla form, the crown jewel of all beauty, remains forever manifest in my heart, and not otherwise. We're at the ends now. This is the last paragraph. In Sri Brihad Bhagavatamrita's Uttarkhand 286 to 96, we find the statements of Pipalayan Rishi. Therein, he extensively discusses the glories of beholding Sri Bhagavan within the heart, Antara Darshan. In the previous stanzas, the sage has been singing the glories. He's been singing stuti of his Lord. Yet this stanza is apparently a prayer, prarthana. However, even this prayer has culminated in glorifying Sri Bhagavan. The sage's prayer for inner vision of Sri Bhagavan shows that such vision is the highest goal, this inner vision. This should also be understood while considering the next verse. And there's a massive annotation by our Param Gurudev. Yeah, I think that it was so long that it takes an entire reading just to read this annotation, this whole section from Brihad Bhagavatamrita about how yeah. Anyhow, we will maybe we will read it tomorrow. I don't know. Let's see. I've read it before a couple times here. Anyhow, I think maybe let's see. Maybe we'll just read the Dig-darśinī-vṛtti and then see if there's time to read that at the end of that. All right, so that's our reading for today. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol. जय श्री सच्चिनंदन गौर हरि की जय, श्री श्री राधा विनोद बिहारी जू की जय, श्री गोविंद गोपीनाथ मदन मोहन जू की जय, जय श्री गुरुदेव की जय, जय श्री परम गुरुदेव की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, श्री रूपानु गौरिया गुरु वर्ग की जय, सब पार्षद श्री गौर नित्यानंद प्रभु की जय, श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीगण की जय, श्री गिरिराज महाराज की जय, श्री तुलसी महारानी वृंद देवी की जय, जय श्री यशोदा दामोदर की जय, श्री राधा दामोदर की जय, श्री दामोदराष्टक की जय, श्री सत्यव्रत मुनि की जय, जय श्री सनातन गोसाई पाद दिग्दर्शिनी-ṭikā की जय, जय उर्ज व्रत की जय, उर्जेश्वरी रसेश्वरी श्री विश्वभानु नंदिनी श्रीमती राधा ठाकुरानी की जय, जय श्री हरि नाम संकीर्तन की जय, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय, समागत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय, श्रीताय जय, श्री रमा एकादशी तिथि की जय, एकादशी तिथि पालन करी भक्त वृंद की जय, श्रीताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। वृंदाय तुलसी देवाय प्रियाय केशवाय कृष्ण भक्ति प्रददेवी सत्यवताय नमो नमः। वंशा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। धन्यवाद प्रणाम श्री हरि प्रभु, भवतारिणी माता जी, अनादि कृष्ण प्रभु, चंपक माता जी, Ganga Mataji, Pramila Didi, Vidyalalasa Didi, Rohini Nandan if you're watching, Raseshwari Mataji, Indira Mataji, and all the other devotees watching. If you leave a comment, I'll see your name. And also pronounce all the devotees watching in the future, like Shashi Devi, Jai Devi Rule, Krishna Rose, Ananda Pradayani, and everybody else. Haribol. See you all tomorrow. Is there anything anybody wants to mention before I end the stream for today? Okay, well, let's look at the calendar really quick. Oh, and Haribol Mahibharat Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam Prabhu. So tomorrow is Mahaprabhu's arrival in Sri Panihati. Maybe we can find that from Śrīmad Bhagavatam. You can find that description of Mahaprabhu arriving in Sri Panihati. And then Narahari Sarkar Thakur's disappearance day. Okay, so maybe we'll read about Narahari Sarkar Thakur, read about Mahaprabhu's arrival in Panihati, and also Damodarāṣṭakam. And then there's Yam Deepdan, Yam Chaturdashi, and then Deepavali. And then the day after that is Anukut, Govardhan Puja. It's coming up in just 5 days from now. All right. See you all tomorrow. Dandavat pranams. Very good.